Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today we are discussing a cult TV serial from the late 1970s, 1977 to be precise, a seven-part serial which was made for children back then. We are talking Children of the Stones. Sort of an eerie folklore tale about ancient stones in a village. So we will go around the people here for opening thoughts. I will go to Susan first because maybe this will be the first time she's seen this.
Okay, so yeah, it was eerie. It was a lot of singing, a lot of Morris dancing, a lot of, it was a slow mover. It was not a mover and a shaker, it was a slow mover. He plays a scientist, he plays a lord, that's the scientist's son, and that's the scientist's son's paramour. And it was about an English village that had a henge, if you will, lots of concentric circle henges, and a big concentric circle henge with the main road into the village running right through it. I don't know. It was pretty cool. There's lots of sort of pagan rituals. Lots of talk about the stones being people. That was pretty fun. And then when they finally turned into people later on, or the people turned into stones later on, that was pretty cool. And then it was like there was a reset button, and suddenly, like, you know, ex machina, and there's everybody back. Anyway, that was pretty fun, but long and slow, lots of things.
Really?
Kind of think Susan Wyman should have listened to it or watched it because of, you know, lots of singing anyway. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah, I picked this one particular because I was talking a few weeks ago about certain TV shows back in the day having 6 or more episodes, even 10 or 12 episodes of one story. Because I'm not a big fan of things of a
14 episodes.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of more than say 4 episodes per serial. Like, but they say this has got 7. But this is how they did it back then. And you've got to remember this was made for children. And as Susan said, there's all this pagan stuff and people turning into stone. See, back then in the UK, they didn't care if they scared the living daylights out of the kids. And also, well, to add to the mixture of that is the haunting music, the theme music, and very creepy. Let's go to Philip, because Philip will remember this when it was broadcast, like I do.
You indeed. I mean, prior to watching it in recent days, just for this review, I couldn't remember a thing about it, apart from the bits where they kept driving up and down the faraway with all the stones either side of them. I remember those images myself, but the story itself, it was lost to time in my memory. But now, having watched it, you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed every part of it. And as Lee, as you said, this would have scared the bejesus out of a 14, 15-year-old kid or even younger back then. And as you said, it would have been, I don't know how kids would have, because I used to watch, there were other shows like this, like Sky, for example, that was made in the same vein of that kind of scariness. And I remember watching that, and that scared me to bits. But going back to Children's Stones, it's a very well thought out scientific adventure, because although it's a bit gobbledygooky, kids back then would have gone, wow, this is really, far out as well. And Gareth Roberts, Ian Cupter, I can't say his name, Ian, I can't say his name, Cupter, I can't say it.
Cuthbertson.
Yeah, that word. These two were men that were very well known in the 70s. Gareth Thomas for Blake Seven mainly. Ian Cupterson for Super Grand, if I remember him being in that. I do give props to the boy, the son of Gareth Thomas' character, because his acting was well grown up and spot on. Some kid actors can't really pass muster. He stood up well for his character, and so I enjoyed his part in it. The teacher woman, she was very good as well. I like her very much. I can't remember I've seen her somewhere, but I can't remember where as well. But the story itself, very, very well done. Did we not see John Woodnight in that as well? We did, didn't we? And I think we would, well, Jake would know him from Doctor Who as Bruton, the Saigon leader. So it was nice to see him. The story about the stone. Now, what I need clarification. Was the idea is that the stones were draining people's personality and sending them off into space, or was it? Can someone clarify what that was actually aiming at, plot-wise?
They were using the ley lines to suck the power out of the people and turn them to stone, and then all that power was being sent to the black hole, right in the dead center of Ursa Major, that had been a supernova, a really bright star in the past.
So when these people were converted, so to speak, and they kept saying "Happy Day," were they totally different beings, or were they still human? But this is what I'm trying to understand.
It was the same. They were just brainwashed.
It was taking away sort of free will, free thought away from them.
Okay, right.
They were becoming like living zombies.
That would be, there we go, zombies again. So yeah, okay, fair enough. Thank you for that, Lee and Susan. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It would have. I mean, back in the day, we would have watched one episode per week, so that would have lasted what, 14 weeks or so, or even more. Yeah,
7 weeks.
7 weeks. That's a long time in school days and weekdays. So that's fair enough. But I'm watching it in one sitting. It was a bit kind of plodding, but because there's a lot to get into and get your head around. But overall, it was a good story, and I would watch it again. I'll go back and watch it again, and then follow on with other things, like I said earlier, like Sky and other shows of that nature back then, like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is why I like to delve back there, so because people forget about these sort of series. What was out then? So it's good to delve into the archives and drag one of these out.
Yeah,
Jake, Children of the Stones.
I was a little bit hesitant going into this because it's 7 parts. I've got to sit through all this bollocks, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of the Doctor Who story Stones of Blood, to the point I was thinking, is this a spin-off that nobody talks about? Just the way it was set and I saw of it. I expected the Stones to be ogre and start chasing after people. It kind of did happen in a way, but I really enjoyed it. It was fun. Come on, let's not take it seriously. It's a bit of fun, but it's really creepy as well. Like what the other people have been saying, it must have scared the shite out of kids with the haunting. I loved the music, and like Susan said earlier, Susie would love this. And the scene with all those people, like singing and swaying around like lunatics, like brainwashed. Oh my! I actually adored it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't do another series of it. Perhaps one day Big Finish will take it on. You never know. But like Philip mentioned earlier, there's a lot of Doctor Who alumni in this, which I did enjoy a lot. The track behind us is obviously one of the characters in the Ribos operation. We had John Woodnut, who's been in a lot of Doctor Who, like Philip said, played the Duke of Thorgil or Broton. The Doctor, I can't remember the name of it, but the Doctor also played Rassilon in The Five Doctors. So there's lots of people I recognise. I thought it really helped with my enjoyment of it, because I could be like, oh, I recognise so-and-so. I recognise them. I recognise some of the other actors and actresses, but I just can't put my finger on where I've seen them before. But I really enjoyed it. But I'll get to what I didn't like in a minute.
Well, 7 episodes, yes, but it's 7 episodes where they can tell and spread the story out. So this is what they used to do. They used to make a good story last so many weeks. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's eerie. We say the music adds to it. As Jake said, all the villagers swaying outside the window on the grounds, and it just stands out in my memory as being, because I was 7 when this was broadcast. So I was 6. I remember that because I was 7 in March. This was in January of the same year. So I was 6 watching this. Quite eerie. And for little kids like that, you think they're making these shows for the kids like us, because it was broadcast on a tea time, I think it was, and I don't know if it was a Sunday. I can't remember if it was a Sunday tea time. But
I can't remember what day.
What did you say? You've got Gareth Thomas, who went on to become Blake in Blake 7, of course. Ian Cuthbertson, a well-known actor, also known for, if you remember, Budgie.
Oh yes, yeah.
But you also had Freddie Jones in this as Di.
As Di.
Freddie Jones has just recently passed away. His last acting role was in Emmerdale, of course, but before that, he was in anything, any sci-fi fantasy movie. He was in it. TV series, Ghost of Motley Hall, if you remember that, in the 70s.
Yeah.
And he, of course, he's the father of.
Go on, tell us.
Wasn't it who played the Dream Lord?
Is that his dad? Your joke? I didn't even know. But you would.
Probably, yeah.
Toby, if you look at Toby's face anyway, you can see the likeness of Freddie in him. So
Freddie Jones was Toby's dad.
Wow.
We've got some good acting people here, and for a kids program, they don't write them like this now.
No.
It just bang, 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 45 minutes, it's over with. It's a full story, and you get involved with it. That's my personal opinion, anyway. And to have, as they say, the henge, the stones in the story. I know where Jake's coming from with the Stones of Blood, of course, yeah. But I think the Stones of Blood was nicked from this, because this was about 2 years before. But yeah, so we'll go to things what you liked or things you wasn't so keen on. We'll go back to Jake.
The way it was edited together was really weird. It seemed really jumpy to me. Like, there's one bit where he's walking, and then he sat down, and I'm like, what? Oh, there's one bit in it had me pissing myself laughing. It's when the boy is trying to get in a chat, and also that girl pokes her head around the wall. I was howling for a good 10 minutes. I thought it was so funny, because that's the way she did it. It was so dramatised. Like, oh my God. Oh, it's hilarious. But yeah, I couldn't take it too seriously, but it was really eerie. And as the people that know me best know, I like quite dark and eerie stuff, and that's probably why I was so drawn to enjoy this. It did remind me, as like I said, Stones of Blood, and yeah, it was good. That's my favourite bits and bits didn't like.
Okay, Susan.
My favorite bits were some of the science talks, and I liked his round table. I like the little amulet bits, the stories of I liked how everything was related to a painting. Um, uh, I liked I liked the prophetic nature. I liked how what's his name, the son could see
it's
Matthew could see
yeah.
in you know, through space and time to another place. That was pretty prophetic and fun. In Christian circles, we call those things open visions. And that's when like a movie theater happens kind of in front of you. And it's a pretty high level prophetic gift. And yeah, so I enjoyed that. Yeah, his little amulet, his little circle with the embossing in it, that was pretty cool. And and I liked the Morris dancing. There's a lot to be said for those English folk dances. They are quite intriguing and not replicated in the colonies over here.
Well, be thankful for that.
There is no Morris dancing over here I mean, we do have our red coats here, but we don't have any Morris dancers, so that's a shame, because it reminds me of the Damons, that Doctor Who episode, and it's always good to see Gareth Roberts. It's always Mr. Blake playing a guy named, what's his name, Break. So that's a little nod and wink and nudge and say no more. Anyway, fun. Good to watch this.
And we'll go over to, I've just seen the picture behind Jake there. We'll go over to Philip.
I won't say that. But anyway, what I'm going to say, I'm going out my head now. Right, I did like the fashion of the people. Indeed.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought, I used to wear things like that. But do you know what I really did like? And I wish I got a print of it. The portrait of the people around the stones, the big portrait they showed all the time with the people around the circle and the light going through in the center.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The painting.
Yeah, the painting. I would love that on my wall right now. If I can find it, I'm gonna blow it up and put it on my wall. That was very etheric and very nice looking. What I didn't like, let me see, was there anything I didn't like? No. I thought there was nothing wrong about it. There was nothing like, oh, how ridiculous. It's all very well put together. I'm not quite sure about my favourite point. I don't know if there's a favourite bit. You know what, though? I do couples. I'm not going to say his name anymore, but Ian C, right? When he's like, it's time in the chair every time. It's time, and then that chair spins. That's what I like. The trick that they made of him when he thought that he got the son and the boy in the chair, and it's like it's time. Then he turns his chair around. They go up and sneak out, and because they pushed time along, didn't they, with a clock? Yeah. So it wouldn't happen at the time that Mr. C would expect it to happen. So therefore, they were able to get away from it. So that was a good little twist in that part of the story. But it was a shame that the people that we thought were the good people got turned into stone, like the woman, the teacher woman and other people that were on their side, and they got killed by being stoned. I thought that was a bit sad and regretful. But it's nice to see them get away and hopefully don't go back there.
Well, this is one of my questions because then they messed about with his time, because it was all to do with time. It was all run by time, this light and all like that. And somehow they went back in time.
Oh, do you know what? I was wondering why. I thought they turned into, but yeah, they
went into the sanctuary under the hill, and when all hell was breaking loose, they came out. the village looked a bit different, and they went back there. There was all the people were back.
Yeah.
Looked a little bit younger. The Lord hadn't even arrived yet to buy the house, the manor house.
True. Good point, Lee. Good point.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm wondering, right? So if they've gone back in time, is it a bubble? Because if
A reset.
have they gone out,
I don't think it's
and are they back in time, or have they gone back to the present as they've left the village, or are they back in time as well?
No, I think they're
they
gone.
reorganized reality. I don't
Yeah,
think it had to do, I think it was a reset button, a Deus
Yeah.
Ex Machina.
But so to me, I mean, every episode title had circle in the
Oh,
title.
okay.
So are they bound to go around in circles?
Yeah, you're right. They're caught in a loop
Mm.
of the screws. Oh,
See,
God.
for kids, and it's a bit adult rated, isn't it? It's not Doctor Who. I can understand Doctor Who. But yeah, that's one of the things when it finished like that, and you think, oh yeah, there's the Lord. Oh, he's got dark hair now. Oh, he's younger. He's buying the house. They've left the village. Let's say my main thing was if they've left the village and they go back into civilization, how many years have they gone back?
But the kids, the daughter of the historian, the librarian, the museum runner, she
Yeah.
was still the same age when he came out of the burrow.
Yeah, so but say it didn't specify how far back they'd gone. Well, yeah, it's one of those things what makes you think. Anything anybody else has to say before I go final turn score?
No, but it's another thing. It's another one I'll go back and watch again because I find it very interesting, and I think it deserves a second watch anyway to actually understand what's going on proper. Because the first time I'm going to be like, "What's going on here? What's all this?"
Because died in it, didn't he? He turned to stone bit on the ground, and then when time had come back, he was alive again, but he didn't know them.
Yeah, that's right.
So once you watch it again, it all sort of sinks in. So
Exactly.
right, we'll go to final say and scores then. Philip, over to you.
Loved it, loved it, loved it. Or should I say, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But I'll give this an absolute 10 because I did love it, and I wish I saw it originally proper back then.
Yeah, but we was young back then. We've only just started to understand what it's about.
It's true, actually. You're right.
Okay, Susan.
Okay, I enjoyed it. Doesn't really age well. I'll give it 7 stones, or 7 turns of the Morris dance, or 7 episodes. A little too long.
Yeah, 7's still a good score for something you've never seen before. So, Jake.
It was a bit of fun. I did enjoy it. It was a bit of fun, eerie, creepy stuff. I did like it. So I'm going to give it an 8.
Cool. I agree with what Susan said. It hasn't aged well, but nothing from the 70s really does age well to the fashion. So for that, well, yeah, and Philip likes the fashion for some strange reason. For that reason, for the aging not too well, I'm giving it a 9.5.
That's decent.
I thoroughly enjoyed it though. It brought back some great memories of when I was little, cowering behind the sofa watching it. Oh no, that was another show. But 9.5 from me. You guys out there, if you enjoyed Children of the Stones, and if you remember Children of the Stones, comment below. On our video, let us know what you thought of the show. If you want to join our cast, messages, get in touch with us, and we'll sort you out. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. If you want to subscribe, just subscribe and press the bell, and you'll get notified when our videos goes up. we're all over the place. And if you've got any suggestions what we could talk about, movies, TVs, audio dramas, drop us a line. I'd like to thank Philip. I'd like to thank Susan. I'd like to thank Jake for joining us, talking a classic TV drama, UK TV drama. So until next time.
Turn to stone, turn to stone, yeah, turn to stone.
Oh, we got an ELO warning. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.